Hello, welcome back to a new video, Laurel Hardy and Charlie Chaplin collectibles. For this video, I don't actually have anything to show as such. The reason being is that everything now is packed away in boxes yet again, so the majority of my items all connected to Laurel Hardy or Charlie Chaplin have all been boxed away and taken out of here, which I'm still here in the temporary home, and I'll be moving very soon into the new home. So I've got stuff still here boxed up, stuff in the new home that's been taken over that's boxed up, and then plus I've still got parts of my display at the Laurel Hardy Museum. So there's lots of things happening, lots of changes, new ideas and exciting things going on. So when eventually when I do move in full time, there'll be lots of new plans on where and how to display all my items, and it'll be great for future videos and then to go from there. And it's going to be absolutely great. But for this video, I just want to have a little talk about the two film biographies, which is the Stan and Ollie 2018 film with Steve Coogan and John C. Reilly, and also the Richard Attenborough's 1992 Chaplin film. Now, I watched both of these pretty much just a little while ago, pretty much back to back. The Chaplin film I hadn't seen for a long time, so it's good to just to recap on this and watch this one again. This is just the DVD version, and of course the Blu-ray version I've got for Stan and Ollie. Sometimes I can't always sort of tell different that much with the quality with the DVD and Blu-ray, but I suppose it just depends on what the film is that makes them all the more better to watch. But basically, I'm not going to talk about the good or bad points of the films. It's just my view on how they portrayed them both. So on how they portrayed Stan and Ollie, or in the earlier 1992 film with Robert Downey Jr. as Chaplin. So with the Stan and Ollie movie, so I watched this again, and like all biographies, they all have their bad, well, not bad points, but they all have their inaccuracies, so that they're not always accurate or as the real story is told. But I'm not going to go into all that because you could actually just look that up yourself or online and see what was the more accurate parts of their story, or what was used more for the film. But yeah, so it's great to see this film again, and I'm just looking. So I'm referring to notes as well, and I've also got the neighbour's cat on my lap, who's not even my cat, and my cat Sophie is outside somewhere, so I'm literally fostering this cat as well, which is great. So basically, the thing that really got me in the film was the late stage in their lives, so that they were really struggling to keep things together. Plus, their health was really not great by then. There was also a very sad feeling about them in their later stage of career. All of a sudden, they really depended on each other, really couldn't be without each other. Because of their health, it really hit home for them, realising that they can't do what they used to do back in the 20s or 30s. The other part about the film is that you really cared for them. You wanted to help or to protect them. And then they always came across as really nice people, and sometimes even being nice to other people that were not nice to them, sort of almost took advantage of them, and that came across that it hurt them. You know, that it almost hurt to see that, and so you felt for them. So just like in their films, they were in a cruel world. Sometimes they were vulnerable, but that being said, they would only take so much, and then they would, you know, they would stick up for themselves. But Stan and Ollie were still in control of their craft and their comedy, and they were untouchable to the end. So, I mean, even John C. Reilly played Ollie, and Steve Coogan, Stan, played the roles great. So, really played it well. Um, so, so that's that. And then the Chaplin, which was a great film. So a lot of Laurel and Hardy fans, they might not like me saying this, but I actually preferred the Chaplin film better. I think the reason being is because it went through all his life from a child right through to old age, so it made it all the more interesting, whereas the Stan and Ollie film just focused on that more vulnerable stage in their later part of their lives where they were a lot older and more sort of fragile, and that their health wasn't great by then. So it would always be good to see another film on Laurel and Hardy. I think on their earlier stages, in their prime 20s or 30s, that would be good. Or even a film would be good with Stan and Chaplin coming to America, 1910, Fred Karno and all that. And then somehow maybe the film ending with Stan meeting Ollie, and then we all know that the rest was history from there, and it was a huge success. But anyway, for this one was Chaplin, so 1992. So again, watch this again. Again, it has a few inaccuracies here and there, but that doesn't matter. Again, like all film biographies, that's what they have to do to make it entertaining, to be watchable. So again, watch this again. So first, it's a great movie with Robert Downey Jr. I still think, when I think of Robert Downey Jr., I think it's one of his best roles still, even though it was very earlier on in his career. But he studied the Charlie Chaplin, the character of the tramp, with absolute perfection, and it's just brilliant performance. So I think what really got me in this film was the sadness of Charlie's early years, his roots. He never forgot that with poverty, and like he had his, his father that was a drunk, his mother with a mental illness. It always stayed with him, and it shows in his films. So he shows the really poor side of living, and that shows in his film set. So he sort of recreated that, sort of the back streets of London, in his films. I think The Kid 1921 was very personal to Chaplin. It was almost a recreation of himself being taken away to the workhouse. He made those films an art form in itself. So it was really great overall performance by all actors and actresses for this film. And but what I'm touching on with both these films is more the emotional side, or the or how they lived side in their lives, and how it's portrayed in both these films, which is really important. It's good to get to know who they were and try to understand them as the artists and the comedians and the absolute perfectionists that they were, and to learn from that. So not just about the stories and what they did and what happened throughout each period of their lives, but it's good to know their characters, to find out what kind of people that they were. And I think as Laurel and Hardy fans, or as Chaplin fans, this is what you always try to do. You're always trying to find out more about them. I almost try to imagine that you're sitting next to them, having a conversation with them and getting to know them. So it's a bit like some of the original Stan letters that I've got. I read them, and when you read them, you get to know them. You get to understand Stan. You're trying to learn what kind of person he was by the way he was writing those letters. So you get to know him, and the same for Ollie. than Chaplin. So it's another good way of learning, and it can be fun too. So there it is. So it's great to see these films back to back again. So yeah, I can't wait to get going with the new collection in the house, and it's going to be really great. I'm already looking at very big display units all round this time. More modern units. I had old sort of vintage display units that were more sort of Art Deco 30s look, or maybe a bit earlier, sort of to go with the times. But now I'm changing that just to have clear modern glass cabinets to display everything. So I'm going to do it very differently now. And I also have other collections, so they're completely different subjects. And I'd like to try and bring them in with future videos on Laurel and Hardy that I talk about. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet because it is different subjects, but again, it's still interesting. And it's all subjects that I grew up with, like Laurel and Hardy, that kind of stuck with me throughout my life and just continues to fascinate me. So it's going to be great. It's going to be really, really fun, and the collecting will always continue. So that's it for this video, and hopefully by the time I do the next video, I will be in the new house. So have fun everyone collecting, and stay safe, and see you next time. Bye.